Welcome, gentlemen. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. So in my research for today, I came across an adage that has stuck with me, which was, if God didn't make it, Autodesk probably did. Now, that may have been fed to me from your PR team.
Okay,
I can't confirm or deny. But it does speak to the ubiquity of this company. So for those who are uninitiated, can you just give us the sort of elevator pitch of what Autodesk is, and then we'll get into some of the tools.
Yeah. So, I mean, Autodesk is really around 3D design software, and almost everything that's actually made nowadays starts with 3D design, whether it's a building or whether it's something that's manufactured like your phone, or whether it's a movie. Right now, you have to make, for VFX and things like that, you have to do 3D character animation and 3D character design. So that's really what Autodesk is about, and it really is true that this building, almost every single movie, they're pretty ubiquitous in terms of, if you have to design it in 3D, Autodesk is there.
So how long has this technology been around? Just ballpark.
I mean, 3D technology, it really, go back 30 years or so. It kind of depends on the industry. It was very useful. People probably know the product AutoCAD, which is around for a long time. In the film industry, it was really around the Jurassic Park time when people started to be aware of
a lot of world building.
It's really world building and really driving artists to achieve their creative visions. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a very succinct elevator pitch. Oh. Thank you so much. So in this space, what have been your biggest challenges as of late when you are working to democratize these technologies and also monetize them, as this is a business, but also keeping human beings always at the center of your work? Because I know this is toggling, it's probably difficult, but tell me how you're managing that balance.
Yeah, well, the difficult thing is coming up with a safe word for the orgy.
Thank you, Daniel, for setting the stage. What is our safe word for tonight, by the way?
I'm going to propose rhubarb is the safe word for tonight. So if we're ever getting out of line, just say rhubarb and we'll take it back.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, it's interesting because some of the problems we deal with are very new and futuristic, and some are actually very old and archaic. So one of the things we're dealing with is making a movie is still very inefficient. There's so many people involved and so much data involved that actually just managing those people and data and getting them to collaborate.
Especially animated films or video games can take a decade.
Everything, yeah. And so the sort of archaic thing that people might be surprised by is the management of that data and making it so that artists can use whatever tools they want to use and the data is just there for them if they should have it and it's not there if they shouldn't, is sort of the archaic thing. And then of course, the more futuristic thing is what everybody's talking about, which is AI, and really trying to figure out how should all this work with AI in the future. And really coming together as an industry to make sure it's done in a way that is, respectful of creatives, respectful of the business, and really with reverence for the art.
So is the AI in this context about data storage and making that more efficient, sort of cloud-based storage?
Well, I mean, there's some aspects of that. So the data management, there is some aspects of that. Really, the root of all AI is data, actually. And so being able to manage your data effectively is how you can actually take advantage of AI. And also, a lot of studios that we work with, they're interested, they have a lot of data. They are not really interested in having people steal their data and just profit off of it, but they are interested in leveraging their data and getting more value out of it for themselves because it's theirs. And so the more you can organize the data, the more that you can manage it, the more you can do that yourself. And so we're very big on, Autodesk is also not interested in stealing anybody's data and profiting off of it, but we are interested in working with the industry to try to figure out the best way to make this work for the creatives.
And you have a great tool called Flow Studio, and I want to know who are the artists who would most benefit from this tool, and just tell us a little bit about what this tool is for those who may not know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, Flow Studio is really how we're trying to reimagine filmmaking for the future, because filmmaking has been, it's always been evolving, but with AI, we think it's going to change quite a bit. And I actually don't think we look at it as the same way as some others, as an OpenAI might, where they just want you to go and prompt something and generate a video. And
that's the part that we don't like generating.
Yes, and we don't like that either. And particularly because our customers, they've got jobs to do. And as Daniel said, they're all working crazy hours. I mean, it's a very weird thing that everybody's overworked and afraid of losing their job at the same time and all the jobs going away.
It's a strange conundrum for sure.
Yeah. And so, with Flow Studio, we're trying to imagine how can we use AI to accelerate artists working the way that they want to work today. And so the initial sort of workflow was it's kind of magical, actually. It was, you could upload your video, and you could basically select some characters in the video, and you say, I want to replace it with this 3D character, right? Something that you might do in a traditional VFX workflow. behind the scenes, it does a bunch of different stuff. It streams together a workflow of many, many smaller AI models to sort of do the things in the traditional tool chain. So it'll go to do some rotoscoping to remove the human. It'll do some camera tracking to estimate the camera motion. It'll estimate your lighting and things like that. And none of it's perfect, right? But it's a really good head start, and it actually gets artists to, professional artists who have like a very long task to do. We like to say it'll remove the worst, 50% of their job, the most boring part, so they can focus on the creative output.
Well, that quality of life aspect that Daniel talked about.
Yeah.
So you're not removing people's jobs. You're allowing that artist to maybe get home for dinner.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
And then I think the other aspect is that we're really interested in is, Daniel talked about the gatekeeping aspect.
That was going to be my next question.
So
Yes,
hard.
talk about that.
It's really hard to make a movie. This is why I'm like, I'm every movie screening I go to, the filmmaker says, this took me 7 years and almost killed me, right? Like it's a really difficult thing. So like we think we
want the process to be joyful if possible, because seeking to enjoy the process only when it's completed is sort of removing a lot of joy from our life in the meantime.
Exactly, yeah. And so we think this technology can be used to enable a lot of people who have really good stories to tell but haven't been able to tell them because, if you want to make a sci-fi movie with robots, it's really difficult to do that nowadays, right? But we think the technology for Flow Studio can actually enable you to do that. Yeah.
Okay, so is this a consumer product that someone can buy and install on their desktop?
It's actually a web product, so you can just go there. You can go there right now. There's a free tier. You can just try it out today. Yeah.
So it's an artistic tool that people can use to make, and it's mostly animated films and art-heavy films. We're not talking like general live action for this application.
There's a lot of general live action that does have sort of like character work in it, so it could be used for that. This is also the initial workflow. We think that AI can sort of like accelerate and empower creatives for all different kinds of things. So Flow Studio is where a lot of those reimagining of the workflows will go. Yeah.
And when have you been most proud of something that you've helped to usher and create, and you've seen someone apply it in a way that you feel 10 or even 5 years ago wasn't possible for them to accomplish that goal?
I think so not to make this about me, but I'm also an amateur filmmaker.
This is about you.
I'm not just a technologist, I'm also an amateur filmmaker. And when we acquired Flow Studio, I wanted to see, because I don't do VFX, I'm not an artist, I can't do those things, but I wanted to see, could I make a short film with a robot as a character in 48 hours? Because I thought with the technology we should be able to. And so we actually went and we did that, and it was magical, to be honest. It was literally a story I could not tell previous to this technology. It didn't take anybody's job because I literally couldn't do it before. And in fact, if I wanted to do this on a sort of a more higher end project, it would probably create jobs because now I can create this film and this gives me a head start and I could actually hire people to go get it the rest of the way, but make it, more economical for me to do it.
And where can we see this film?
Oh boy, it's probably on YouTube somewhere.
What's it called? Because we're all going to look it up later.
It's called Frenchie. It stars my wife, actually. She's an actress, yeah. So.
That's very sweet. Well, Matt, I wish we had so much more time with you, but thank you so much I think it's given a lot of us a lot to think about, and I'm very interested in Flow Studio now, and I'm not artistic at all, so you've really made an impact.
Right.
So
Thank you
so
very
much. Thank you, everyone.